the war on nature seeing. Now we've all seen this before. You got these lines in on coastline, like when you go to the beach and stuff. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of beaches which are just buried in sand or buried in pebbles or shells. But quite often you get this as well. You get all these lines that just go out, and it's like, I remember being a kid and asking what they were, and nobody really had an answer for them and stuff like. Um, how sedimentary rocks formed or whatever and stuff, but so then sometimes it looks like this. You know what I mean? It's more messy kind of thing, more difficult to see what it is as such. But at the same time, you see the patterns it's making. It's making like that V shape kind of thing. You see over there, it's going in and back out. You see that curve. So you're seeing what shape it is now. You know what I mean? And comparing to everything else we've looked at, and the Hangman's research, you know what I mean? You can see exactly what that is. So then some coastlines, you see it like this, and you got like layers at this angle. So it's not always vertical, it's kind of like it depends where you are kind of thing. Like, obviously I'm talking about giant trees and stuff like, so these are like the rings of the layers and stuff. And you get it everywhere. There's loads of these pictures at coast like this. You see how it matches up with coast, with cliff kind of thing like. So that's all different layers in perspective of that light. See, like this one, all them layers, they go all into hillside. So it's like all that land is that. And you can see where the area where it's missing, it's like, it's like a triangle area at least, which is missing kind of thing, like where all these lines come out and stuff. That one matches with that line and so on and stuff like. And how wood-like it looks. Obviously, with the layers and that's adding to it. Also, the sand there, which this is going to have quartz in it kind of thing, which, just further fortifies what it used to be, So now it's a petrified tree rather than a living tree, which is how the island's formed. See, you got all them layers, or rings, whichever you want to call it. See in distance as well. It's into the landscape. A bit missing front side, and then it's all exposed, so you can see what's underneath, and it's exactly the same as what we were looking at just before. Also in background in distance as well. Oh, and all rocks and all that kind of thing. How it falls down. See, it's like how far out does it go? You know what I mean? This is another example of layers or rings. How all islands like formed of it kind of thing. It's a wood grain structure like. It's everywhere. It's all the way through there. You know what I mean? You'd expect to like dig in with dirt, stone, and you know what I mean? You don't expect it to be like that as such. Well, not at all, really. You see those lines? They don't look natural. The question is like, what caused these? You can see some more there. There's quite a few. It looks like a blade's gone through it. And consider that the tree were alive when it happened, so the tree would be softer rather than it being stone, and you know what I mean. Like there'd probably be more of an impact, and it would have dragged it, and you'd have seen the impact direction going that way. Whereas it just looks like it's cut through it. Maybe like a laser beam could cut through a stone, or wood. You know what I mean? God knows. It looks beyond what we've been able to do in past. You know what I mean? And maybe we were able to do a lot in past. But see here again, I showed you this one on the endings video. You got like all these layers, and they're like I say, when you stood at edge of cliff and you're looking down at it, it looks like concrete. You know, I couldn't imagine like why have I done it. You know what I mean? But you know, protect side from ocean hitting it and all that kind of stuff, like councils protecting. You know what I mean, from cliff disappearing into the ocean and stuff. But no, they've never done that. You know what I mean? These have always been here from since it grew, basically. That concrete area is that's all the ash waste and all that kind of thing that made it all petrify and stuff like. There you got a bit which is exposed, so it's got more of a natural colour. It's still petrified, but it's not covered in the ash waste. When you look in ocean, you can see outlines of rested rings. See them two there? You see them there? See, we're all going back into ocean. See there your lines? It's difficult to see because it's underwater. So when you got this here, see all side at mountain, it's covered in it. You got that bit exposed there, and the rest of it's covered in the ash waste, petrified layer. And then we'll come back down here, and you got all your lines which continue to go out until they're submerged. So I can't see how far that actually goes. You know what I mean? It's like we look up into distance and stuff, and we can see all this is the same. It's potentially all the same down there, but it's obviously too difficult to see that. But look at that one. That's the one I showed you on the other one. You see, it's like red underneath that underlayer, it's grey on top of it, and then you get like more naturally kind of wood colours underneath that. But all them layers will just continue going through there. So this is a thing we get quite common. In alt mountainsides we see this quite a lot. You got all this concertina effect. Can you imagine like when tree were growing, the springiness that it would have been able to develop by having that shape. You know what I mean? It's like when it wants to expand, it's just gonna, you know, the more water that goes in there, it's just gonna flourish and push out kind of thing, like, and enhance its like stability as it goes. For example, of like all this, how it petrifies like this. You know what I mean? It's like you can't bend stone. Wood can bend. You know what I mean? It grows like that anyway in ways and stuff, depending what kind of wood. But you can't bend stone though. It's another one. So like that, it's a little bit different from the previous one. And that's different from that again. So potentially like 3 different types of tree. Potentially, that could be the same as the previous one, but it looks different to that one now. So we've got those columns, all in ocean, and then building up to this here, which then you got your grass and your soil on top of it. Not much room for it though, you know what I mean? It's all rock really. And you look across and it's like the entire end of this island is purely from this plant. You know, however big this plant is. You know, how deep does it go? Where does it start? And all that kind of thing. So, you know, you look at this, generally, years ago, if I were looking for an holiday brochure or whatever and stuff, you wouldn't see it, you know what I mean? But when you do look at it, and it's like, it's all rock. So I can't really see layers as such, but it's definitely all rock. You know what I mean? Look at all the debris that's fallen, which is for sand and stuff, which is like, you know, going deeper and deeper kind of thing, like. But it's all connected to this, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like the sand falls away from this area kind of thing. And then we've all got rock again. All rock behind there, rock there. So that just looks like the remains of a giant tree. It's just that it's hidden by all this grass and small trees and buildings and etc. kind of thing, like. You get coastlines like this. It looks like the base of a tree when you got all the burling, how it burls. You know, that's like you get them growths on it, don't you, and stuff. Which is one of the things I think like the potential that burling on a tree is the gene or hormone that a tree needs for it to go into the case of like gigantism. I'll show you that one on the next video. I've got it saved up and stuff like. But again, you got this concertina effect, and again, how wood-like it kind of looks and stuff. Obviously, you know, is it sedimentary rock which has been pushed together? It's pros and cons for argument. You know what I mean? It's like really, I'm thinking it more likely that this is part of a tree structure, and the rest is missing. It's a piece of sedimentary. Other day I was speaking about like an asteroid coming down and smashing up sedimentary rock and then flying into the air with impact and then coming back down and landing like this. You know what I mean? But no, I just think it grew and it's the remains of a tree which is still stood upright, whereas the rest of the lines will be going in the same direction. So it wouldn't have been an asteroid coming down and smashing rock up and making it fly into the air, and just so happens to land in line with all the other lines on the ground. You know what I mean? It begs the question, but you know, the belief as such kind of thing. Like, again, you got all this burling, kind of what it looks like kind of thing. It's like all the top's missing now. It's like, is that all just burnt away or that? I've got no idea. Like the technology level, it's gonna like, there's really potential that we know nothing about the truth of what really happened with it and stuff. I don't think it was just a fire, you know, like those lines in ground and stuff like them cut lines look a bit too suspicious. Another example of stone bending, or just the remains of the rings on a giant tree kind of thing. Again, you got all the quartz and the stone and stuff, so it's just showing you all rock. It's how much of it, the land is just rock, basically. It's all here. All of it. It's like a tree root. Yeah. That's what I'm looking at every time I see coast. Every time I see, well, any continent really, it's just all part of this tree system that we're in. See all lines and caves and stuff. That texture. See, here's the comfort lines. Look at that one. Comes out, it comes in, it converges with this one here. You got that one that comes out there like that. Kind of converges with it, kind of meets it around there. And then you got that one. And you can see a few more. It's a bit difficult to see, but it's like something there as well. But what's done that? That's not normal. And this story is about dragons and all these kind of things and stuff into it, you know, but I'll get into that later, I think, on one of the next videos. Some more wood-like stone. Well, it's got quartz in it anyway, like I said. I said a million times even. They're all columns, like Devil's Tower, but you've got like entire islands or coastlines made out of it. So it's not like just one little Devil's Tower kind of thing. You got like big areas of it and stuff. And all columns and stuff. So another little look at so we've seen coastline and we looked at some of these, well, these are different pictures, like just another little showcase of like what we've got under there. And look at shape of it, like in terms of like tree like rather than coral like, you know, it's like as the seafloor would have been lower than this if these were growing back at that time, like strings of mountains, what we got on surface, you know what I mean, when we're talking about like creeper plants as mountain chains and stuff, like, and we got it under the sea as well. I can imagine, like, you know, I mentioned on one of the other ones about like lava tube tunnels kind of going up and stuff, like, but here I'm seeing trees. It's much more tree shape-ish. Obviously completely destroyed and stuff, like, well, one on the surface that we want to create a video we saw like that. It had all in tree kind of thing, and the rest are burnt out and stuff. It looks like that's like a big tree with several trunks which used to be with it maybe, and then some round here as well. It's just the shapes of them. And more with holes in. See, it's quite common. It's supposed to be the Eye of Sauron. We've named it. It's got its crater, and then it's got its volcano in the centre. It's attached to bigger stuff next to it as well. Did I have a picture of it? No, I'm not sure. But I think that's it for that one. I've got some of these. Some more of this. So I didn't find video room to put them in. It was more of the hexagon style plants. I just wanted to like feature, but I've got no more room for the tree videos as such. It's like I wanted to explore everything. Nowhere room. No room to put it anywhere. I don't know. So just add it at the end of this one. This one would have been a quick one otherwise as well. But the amount of it, and also like I remember looking at this, like it's about a year and a half ago now, and we're like considering like because the argument is that all this is lava and stuff like it would be glass like there wouldn't be no quartz in it, and the amount of angles that contradict how lava would flow. It's like trees have water in them. You look at the roots and it's kind of like that's the pathway water takes through soil or sand or whatever and stuff like. So what I mean. There is a similar relationship with liquid and the way that a tree will grow and stuff like. But it's not lava. Oh well, there's some cases of lava. What I mean, obviously. But for most cases, like all these hexagon plants and stuff, you can tell that's not lava. There's no glass, you know what I mean, and all that kind of thing. And it goes off in different directions as well. So it looks all charred. Like I said about the ash wasteland, everything burnt and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's burnt, dead wood, petrified since, and all that kind of thing, and not lava. It's like which one formed first if it were lava. It's the amount of them. Like, you've got so many different variants of plants that you can find. It's just like the entire landscape is just covered in it. It's like even soil will turn to sand and stuff. So it's different on top. Like behind here and stuff. Is that the debris from like the ash waste and stuff like that kind of thing that's covered it or bedded it? Or is it just decomposed partially and that's more solidified because it was buried more? I don't know. I'm gonna like surmise, and it's best to like go to the places and you can see what it's made of and stuff. Look at that one, like you got all of them broken up and stuff. All this up here, just like Devil's Tower. which is that makes it there's loads of them. You know what I mean? That type of tree we're all over. It's all landscape. This is next to a river, and I had a look at it and stuff. You got all these layers in it. It looked very wood-like. This is a thing layers can do that. It's gonna let if it's sedimentary, like if it's just a slight layers of soil which is built up over years, and the water's washed it away and stuff. Well, how it's breaking down is all this is sand. It's soily on the inside, but you can see that it's just turning to sand basically. So it's like all that. It was soil. You can see. You know what I mean? So this is the banking that had washed away and stuff. This is much more likely sedimentary soil rather than, I can't really call it rock. You know what I mean? It's just turned into sand though. And that were quite thick, you know what I mean? Each layer were like, it had a lot of density to it. It would more difficult to pull apart than you'd expect, like all your pebbles on floor. Like I said, there's water just round the corner and just behind me. A mess as well. I see land's moving, so it's pulling it and all that kind of stuff. Or a piece of wood in it. I pulled it out, it was just a piece of wood. I don't know how it got stuck in there. It's got sand at bottom. You see that? You got like coal, like little bits. There's a layer of it kind of thing. So that's how dense it was. I pulled a bit off. I filmed it actually, but I've not kept it. I see layers of coal in there now. Hold on a second. This will lower to the ground. So further down, you had like more clay substance and coal. It was less a combination of that. And then these harder pieces and stuff. That is called a flysch, a sequence of sedimentary rock layers that progress from deep water to turbidity flow deposits to shallow water shales and sandstones. I don't believe that when you look at it all. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's it for now. I'll get ready for the next one to do. Right, thanks for watching. Cheers.